Good morning. This is tape number 1, and it has to do with, I guess, my journaling. Instead of doing a written journal, although I've got plenty of them, I thought I'd do a web journal. And it just has to do with my, I guess, epiphany, or maybe it's just a crystallization of an epiphany, a philosophy of life that I've had. And it happens to be carpe diem, enjoy life, enjoy the day. And it's a lot of people's philosophy. It's nothing new. But it just seems that every time something happens to me, which might be a downer, something that's not so great, something that's a little unhappy, to some people it might be a big thing, to some people it might be a little thing, I don't know. But it just reaffirms my philosophy that you need to enjoy each day. There's so much pessimism nowadays. Right now it's 2010. It happens to be March 2010. They've just voted in this health care bill. In fact, it was just last night. And so many people my age, I happen to have just turned 65 a couple of months ago. Lots of people are so upset about it. They're depressed. They're just almost hopping mad. In fact, some of them are hopping mad, and I can understand it. In fact, I know full well what they feel, and many of us have written to our Congress people, Congresspersons, men and women, emailed them, called them, written them, and so on, and rightly so. They are representatives, but it's just that I think that when folks get to the point where their veins are popping, blood squirting out of their eyeballs, their blood pressure goes up, like my husband's, for instance, to the point where it's actually ruining their lives. They have road rage. They have kick the dog syndrome. They are getting to the point where their family lives the family lives are being compromised by the quality of life that they are having just in their homes, just in the environment on a daily basis. Every time you turn on the TV, it's just so negative, and sometimes you just say to yourself, gee, I'd like to see a 30-minute comedy for 5 minutes, like Two and a Half Men. I mean, I sometimes come home and just say, wow, can we see The Simpsons? I mean, come on already. And that's really my philosophy of life, and it has been ever since, I'd say, maybe 4th grade, and I'm 65. Enjoy the day, enjoy the moment, because you may never pass this way again. And it's been reinforced, I can't tell you how many times. My husband and I went to Greece, I'd say in the 70s. Well, now look what's happened to Greece. We were on top of the Acropolis. We saw all the antiquities. We went to the Plaka. We danced all night. We saw them break plates in the Plaka and so on and so forth. But now, you can't go on top of the Acropolis without people saying, gosh, don't touch anything. You can't take anything. People were taking rocks and taking pieces of the ancient statuary there and so on and so forth. You can't do those things anymore. I mean, now, of course, the whole country's in an uproar. Just things have changed so much, and I look at life and I say, wow, if I wait and say, wow, I think I'll wait until I'm 66. I think I'll wait until my grandchildren are grown, or maybe I'll wait until I have $1.5 million, or maybe I'll wait until, maybe I'll wait until they give us a little more stimulus, or no, I'm not going to do that, because what am I waiting for? I mean, this is life. Life is while you're waiting for the next big check or the next big bit of good news. I mean, you make the good times, I feel. Your good news is what you make it. And that old phrase, well, guys sometimes, that thing about sex, money, and rock and roll. Well, now it's money, sex, and rock and roll, because you can buy sex. So the most important thing now is money. Money, money, money. Well, now they're just printing it. So the money isn't even worth anything. So guess what? You've got to make your happiness, and sometimes you have to manufacture it. Sometimes if you have fun and make fun and pretend to be happy, sometimes you are happy. I read an article about one of the ways to lower your blood pressure is that if you're not happy, pretend to be happy, and voila, maybe you will be happy. You know, women, they talk about faking, faking your bedroom fun. Well, if you fake it long enough, maybe sometime, that will happen on its own because you've been faking it so long, and pretty soon you start believing yourself. Well, that's the way I feel. So my slogan is now, always get around to it. Don't say, well, someday I'm going to get around to that. Well, maybe when I retire, or maybe when my kids are a little bit, maybe I'll do that. No, always get around to it. So for my first tape, my first webcam, my first lesson, my first life lesson, number one, numero uno, is always get around to it. Not I'm going to get around to it, but always get around to it. So if I leave nothing else in my legacy or my takeaway to my kids, it's going to be always get around to it.